No one wants to see your junk while
No
they're
one
eating.
wants to see your sausage while they're literally eating jerk sausage.
Right.
So
Jerk sausage.
jerk your what? Ooh, this got weird. Okay.
This
Anyway,
episode has taken a very strange
this is
turn
a
over the
lot.
course. Wow.
So the other
This is how you know
thing,
we haven't talked to each other in a while.
hey there, adventurers! Welcome to Let's Just Go podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kayla, and this week we're talking about sandals. And I don't mean flip flops, I
Wah,
mean
wah, wah.
sandals and beaches resorts. What is their like overarching?
Unique vacations.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Those commercials you've seen throughout your entire life of the heart shaped pools.
And heart-shaped over-the-water bungalows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that place.
yep, that place. So just recently returned from a trip myself to Jamaica. The brand started in Jamaica, so it's where they have the most amount of properties. There are 7 sandals properties and 3 beaches properties, or 2 beaches, soon to be 3 beaches properties
Mm-hmm.
at in Jamaica. But today we're talking about sandals, specifically sandals Royal Caribbean and sandals Montego Bay. Um, and on a quick trip, I love them the most. You know why?
Because you can get a nonstop flight.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
yes, that's number one.
I'm like, I think. I don't know.
That's number one. Yeah, which is why
What?
Jamaica, the Dominican, and Mexico are always so popular, right? In
Mm-hmm.
part, just because the most frequent nonstops, at least from
Yeah,
where we are.
right.
But after I land, why is it important for those two?
Because you get to go through the bougie, what is
Club,
it? I don't remember what it's called.
Club MoBay. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the Sandals there does have the nice little lounge there, or you can pay for extra, which we'll talk about
Yeah.
that. The No, I love Sandals Royal Caribbean and Sandals Montego Bay because they are 10 minutes or less from the airport.
Oh, that was gonna be my next guess, but I was
Yeah.
just thinking about how bougie you are, and I was like, it's got to be a bougie reason.
Well, I appreciate that because that's accurate. But the
Yeah.
um, no, I on a quick trip, 3 4 nights, like I don't want to land somewhere and then drive an hour and a half. It becomes a
Yeah.
very long travel day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention Jamaica does not participate in daylight saving, so half the year they're the same time, and half the year they're an hour
Mm-hmm.
behind. Not that an hour is a big deal, but um, it just messes you up on a travel day when you might be waking up
Yeah.
real early for a flight.
Yeah.
So Sandals Royal Caribbean is slightly further, um, eh, but both in Montego Bay, and so it's about 10 minutes. Sandals Montego Bay is only about 6 minutes from the airport. Downside is there's a lot of airport noise.
So you're close to the airport. Yeah. The
Because it's so
positive is
close.
also the negative.
Yes, exactly. Now that doesn't bother me, but for some people it might, right?
Yeah.
We're talking to people who were staying at Sandals Montego Bay, and they're like, it starts early, like at 7 a.m. The plane, it's literally Sandals Montego Bay is literally next to the airport. Um, the
Are
main
you a
road.
noise machine person?
I
I'm a
am a
noise
noise
machine
machine person.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it doesn't
so
bother
it's
me.
irrelevant to me. I also
Yeah.
grew up though. I
You
can
grew up
shut.
close to the airport, right?
I grew up close to the airport, but I also grew up with a regional rail right
Oh,
behind
that's
me.
what it was. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so for me, I remember kids like I'd have friends who were like, "What? Why is the house shaking?" I'm like, "What?" You know, because I lived with it my whole life. I'm like, "Oh, it's an Amtrak or a SEPTA train going by."
Yeah.
Um, you know, uh, 80 feet behind us.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm pretty good at tuning it out. But I think so. I stayed at Sandals Royal Caribbean, which has
Hmm.
both properties have been recently updated in the last 2 years, and they're even continuing furthering those updates. Um, I guess they're what we'll call sister properties because they do have a shuttle back and forth about 10 times a day. Um,
Wow. Okay.
so yeah, it's nice to be able to to go back and forth because they definitely have different
Can you
vibes.
like dine at both and
Yes.
like use pools at both? And
Yep.
that's nice.
Differences here. Sandals Montego Bay is actually only about 40 to 50 rooms more. However, it feels much, much larger. There are more restaurants on Montego Bay, um, but the setup is it's a straight line of buildings. So the beach feels the beach is very large and long, and the property just feels big because of that. So
Because
lots
it's
of
not
different
like in a
vibes.
bunch. It's
Right,
all, yeah, I
exactly.
gotcha.
And where
Yeah.
Royal Caribbean is kind of segmented out, and so you don't
Hmm.
feel like you feel like it's much smaller than it really actually is.
A
Um,
circle versus a straight line. Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
and
Yeah.
so they are also building even additional. There's an additional building being renovated all the way on the end of Royal Caribbean, and they were talking. The workers mentioned even building like rooftop bars on there and stuff. So they're trying to
Cool.
take some of their older properties and renovate them.
Yeah.
Um, I stayed. There's three categories: so luxury, club, and butler. When you stay at a Sandals resort, I did stay at the luxury, which is the entry level. The differences between that and club is really I only had just wine and beer in my room instead of hard liquor, and I couldn't order room service. So it's the downside. Um,
Are the restaurants open decent hours to where like you're
they are.
fine if you can't get room service?
Breakfast didn't start until 7:30. That was the
Oof.
earliest that I know for you. Which I mean, I'm up right, and so working out, which was fine though. And then
Yeah.
there is late night eats like wings and burgers and fries and all at the pub until 2 a.m. So
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
you're pretty set for the
Yeah.
duration. There's something is open from 7:30 a.m. till 2 a.m. So
Yeah.
um and you do have a fridge in your room, so if you want to bring stuff back or whatever, you can do
Yeah.
that. Um I enjoy the accommodations though. The rooms are large. Um we there was a balcony tub,
There's nothing that Chris loves more than a good soak.
I guess. Tubs aren't really my thing.
Yeah. I got you sidetracked. I'm so sorry. So there's a
Now,
tub on the balcony.
there's a tub on the balcony, but here's something everybody should know. A Sandals is every single room in almost every single Sandals. It's only a king bed. Um,
Oh.
so if you're traveling with friends and you can travel with friends. Doesn't matter who you're traveling with. You have to share a bed, and they rarely will sell like so. If there's three of you and you need two rooms, that's not going to go over well. You need to be in even numbers. Um,
Oh, interesting.
unless there's unique situations like a wedding block, right?
A
Where
throuple.
oh, then you might want to go to
If you
hedonism.
like have it, how do you document it? The three of us are fine with sharing a bed. Is it big enough?
And it is. I feel like it's larger than a regular king. I think it's a California
It's
king.
probably California King, yeah.
Um,
Like, do they have like a waiver you can sign that's like, we're fine with three of us sharing a single bed?
my
I feel like
God.
they should do that. We should reach out to somebody.
Now I have questions.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry. I keep sidetracking you. I'm so sorry.
holy
You said
shit.
there were exceptions. I was just thinking about what the exceptions would be. I think that's a good
I was talking
exception.
about like
Wedding
you're traveling in a
parties.
group, right? Like, and there's a
Yeah.
wedding party, and
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
great grandma's coming, and she's been widowed for 4 decades.
Well, then she better find a boyfriend or
She can find
girlfriend.
one,
She
and
needs to find somebody.
she needs to find somebody in Jamaica, preferably staying in the butler suite. Um, come on, grandma. Um,
Oh, man.
and then we did not talk about the butler suite, but obviously you're getting,
A
one-on-one
butler.
attention. Yeah, they'll walk you to dinner. They get you your first drink at dinner. They'll make your reservations. You can get room service from any restaurant in the resort, not just from. Uh,
All right.
yeah, yeah. So lots of different types of accommodations. They have two-story rooftops. They have the butler accommodations. They even have over-the-water bungalows right there at Sandals Royal Caribbean. So you can get an over-the-water bungalow in a beautiful water in Jamaica less than 10 minutes from the airport, right? Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The one thing I think is, well, you've been to Sandals Royal Bahamian, which has its own
Hmm.
private island. Sandals Royal
Yeah.
Caribbean also has their own private island.
Cool.
And that actually is what the bungalows are connected to. The nice
Oh,
part of
interesting.
that, which is different than Royal Bahamian, because of that, the boat back and forth is continuous.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go to
Yeah,
the
because
private
it's
island. Yeah.
so like ridiculous. The schedule at Royal Bahamian's ridiculous. So this
Yeah.
was constant, you know, because the butlers were taking
Like
that
you're at
boat.
Disney.
Yep, exactly like
It's
that.
always running.
Yeah, it was great. Plus, there's the Jerk Shack is on the
Island.
so most sandals have a Jerk Shack. Yeah, was on the
Hmm.
island, and then their Thai restaurant is on the island.
Yum.
Um,
I haven't eaten lunch yet. You're making me
and
hungry.
then their it's the only sandals that has a clothing optional section on the back
I
end of
was
the island.
okay. So when you were talking about the tub earlier, and you said so you were saying something like sandals is, and I was like, you're gonna say clothing option.
No, just that one section. And I have a hint though. We spent most of the days there clothed, and
Hmm.
most people were clothed. Actually, almost everybody
Hmm.
in the few days that, you know why? Because it
Cold.
has like, there's like 16 chairs and there's the most amount of umbrellas, and nobody was out there like securing their
Oh,
thing. I think that was
yeah.
probably our one hurdle. By 7:15 in the morning, every beach chair was taken by really a butler securing the spot.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. So that's if you want to be a lazy bum on the beach all day, the
Yeah.
Butlers is where it's at because
Right.
they'll wake up at the ass crack of dawn.
Both Royal Caribbean and Montego Bay were have multiple pool options too that are nice.
I'm a
Again,
pool person.
I'm a wherever there's shade person. So,
Yeah, that too.
but anyway, lots of different accommodations, right, to meet whatever you're looking
Hmm.
for in that setup. Um, I love sandals because I do find I always call it like the Disney of the Caribbean because every detail is really kind of handled. I always say though, when you go to an all inclusive, none of them are super mega 5 stars, right? You're not going to the Four Seasons.
I mean, I I say to Eshkra Arte, and I would say it's pretty fucking close.
All right, fair, but that's only one, and most of them are
Yeah,
not, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
although
most
that
of
might
them
be
are like
getting
nickel and diming you,
right, right.
and yeah, Sandals
Um,
doesn't feel that way though.
no, not at all. And in fact, you can't even tip once you're on property. They
Hmm.
won't accept them. So I think that's really important for people to know. Like once you get there,
Hmm.
that's it. That's all you're spending,
Yeah,
unless you're doing excursions and things, right? But I
yeah.
think the other aspect of that is what else is unique. Doesn't matter what level you're staying in. You don't have to be staying club level or preferred level like at some all inclusives, which is going to get you the top shelf liquor versus the bottom shelf, right?
Yeah.
Um, doesn't matter. You want Tito's, you can get Tito's, right? You want what you're getting it.
Are you calling Tito's top shelf?
No, no,
Okay, I was just
they
making
don't
sure.
have no, no. But you know what I mean? They're not just having the local
Yeah,
bottom brand kind of
yeah.
um, thing. So I think that's what's really nice. And then the other part is what's included. So you can scuba diving included if that's your thing, snorkeling included,
If
kayaks
that's your thing.
included. Um,
You're not listing anything that's my thing yet. I'm waiting.
well, because they're all like physical activities on water. So,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
but like uh, bodyboarding. Now it was too windy most of the time to do some of these things, but they've glass
Hmm.
bottom boats. They have the snorkeling I mentioned, the catamarans, like all of that stuff is included. There's not, oh, you want a kayak? Well, it's $100 for an hour, and none of it, right? You just sign
Yeah.
up, you go. Um, the glass bottom boat went out at nine a.m. I think 9 a.m. and 12:30 every day. Um,
Did you
you
go
know,
on it?
I didn't because I was going to go on it the last day and it was way too windy. They weren't. They actually brought the 9 a.m. people back early and then
Oh
canceled the
wow.
12:30.
Well, all right.
Um, in fact, they had the red flags up for like don't even swim because
Oh
it
wow.
was very windy. Beautiful weather though, and actually, thank God it was windy because it was hot.
Because it's
So
so hot. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, I'm fine with this. I am fine. Um, but you don't really find that at many other all inclusives where that many
Hmm.
things are included without being
Yeah.
nickel and dimed, as you mentioned.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, I think the differences though between Royal Caribbean and Montego Bay, like I was getting a coffee at Montego Bay, and the woman's like, "Oh, where are you staying?" I said, "Over at the other resort." She's like, "I think I should have been there." She's like, "I'm looking for the retirement home." I was like, "It's going to be over at Royal Caribbean."
The
Montego Bay was
retirement
definitely a
home.
more party vibe.
I
Nothing
want the
crazy.
retirement home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the party vibe during the day. I don't want to be like I'm not like out till 2 a.m. kind of thing. But
Hmm.
um, yeah, so you want more of a party vibe, Montego Bay is your choice. If you want a little bit more of the retirement home, then Royal Caribbean's your choice.
I want you to know that every time you say Royal Caribbean, I think you're talking about cruising. Like my
I
brain.
know. I do hate that it's the name of
Yeah. Yeah.
all the food is great. The other aspect here is, and I know we talk about this. We want to send people here like whenever they have allergies, right? Because when you go into the Caribbean
Hmm.
with allergies, I'm always like, nah. It's not like going
Yeah.
somewhere like Disney or even in the U.S. where there's protocols and very strict
Yeah.
ones. And but every time I sat down to eat, the very first question was any
Are there any
allergies.
allergies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and in the buffet, which they have for breakfast and lunch, it's not the only option for breakfast nor lunch, but you can do the buffet and you could have the chef come out and talk to you and show, walk you through the buffet if you wanted to. I
That's
saw a few
nice.
people doing that. So very conscious about allergies, which I think is important for people
Hmm.
to know.
Yeah.
Um, but as you know, when you order food in the Caribbean, it takes approximately 750 years.
Yeah. That is true.
So don't go to dinner hungry. You have to go before
Hmm.
you get hungry. But made to order pizza, right? And that's I think what I like. Like you have made to order pizza. You can get the nicer stuff for lunch, even dinner, or you can
Hmm.
go somewhere and get pizza,
Just
jerk chicken,
grab
and
something.
wings. Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what whatever you want. Um, but between the two resorts, tons of options, right? Thai one night. There's a French cuisine, a French restaurant, an Italian restaurant. I went over to Montego Bay one time and ate at Soy, which is all their sushi. So you can
Ooh.
order it, right. I mean, try all kinds of sushi because it's included uh,
Hmm.
that you wouldn't normally necessarily eat. And yeah, I mean, lots of there's a like a hibachi type place at Montego Bay
Hmm.
as well. There's a steakhouse at Montego Bay. Some restaurants do need reservations, and at Sandals, you can only make one reservation before you're on property. So I always recommend
Oh.
our tip is in the app, make it for your first night, and then once you're on
Mhm.
property, you can make your other ones. So some at Royal Caribbean, nothing had a dress code. At Montego Bay, you might need pants and closed-toed shoes for men, and uh,
You might need
you don't
pants.
you don't have to wear any pants. No, but I meant shorts. You couldn't wear
I mean,
shorts.
clothing was optional,
Clothing
so
optional, but not while you're eating.
no one wants to see your junk.
The other thing, so for me, not every sandals. I think we should be clear that not every sandals is amazing, but not every sandals is
They're not created
um,
equally for sure.
they are not created
Yeah.
equally. There's definitely some brand standards, but as I mentioned, one was more of a party vibe and one was not. There are 7 sandals in all of Jamaica right now, um, 3 in the Ocho Rios section, and then like Negril and south of that, there's 2 there, and then 2 in Montego Bay that we obviously were talking about. So all very different, all built at different
Yeah.
times, different vibes, different budgets. I'll even say potentially. So just know that. But when you fly into Jamaica, unlike flying into some other Caribbean islands, it's a real airport, right? Have you been to
Yeah.
Jamaica?
Mm-mm.
I do.
I know.
I know I say this about all the Caribbean islands, well, and Mexico too. I'm always like, the people are amazing. The Jamaican people are amazing, right? Like, when you go to Disney and every single person says hi to you and you're like, hi, shut the fuck up. But that is exactly what happens on the same, but really in all of Jamaica. Everyone's so
Yeah.
incredibly friendly. They appreciate tourism so much. Um,
Hmm.
but the airport is a real airport, right? It's big and nice, and it's not like Turks and Caicos where it's a one-room schoolhouse. Um, it literally is a one-room schoolhouse in Turks. But they have an option called Club MoBay. Um, do it as soon as you book your flights. Book Club MoBay. Now, if you're arriving super early in the day, you might not need the arrival service. But if you're arriving anytime after like 11:30 in the morning, try to get it. It probably, if you do it too late, it's going to sell out.
Uh-huh.
And somebody greets you with your name on a sign at the end of the jet bridge, walks you all the way through customs. You get through it, and then, or you go through immigration, then you get through customs, all while walking you. And then at the very end, you can either go to the Sandals Lounge or to the Club MoBay Lounge. And if you go to the Club MoBay Lounge, um, the Sandals people know to come get you when the shuttle's ready.
What's the difference between the two lounges?
I'd say the Club MoBay I would pick Club MoBay, right? So
Okay.
there's a little bit more food options. Sandals has like some snacks and water,
Hmm.
and like that's kind of it.
Hmm.
But you can get alcohol and stuff over in the Club MoBay Arrival Lounge. Um,
Nice.
and which I think is about $35 or $40 a person per arrival, but it's on some busy time, travel times, and you bypassing that entire line of at
There's nothing worse than being on a plane for however many hours and getting off and being like, okay, finally, to just stand still with 100, 200, so many people around you, not knowing what the fuck they're doing,
no,
just trying to get through.
it happens to be everybody's first day of travel that you're staying
It's the
with.
first time they've literally ever interacted with a single human being in their life.
Yeah, you're like, what is going on? This
Yeah.
really isn't that hard. I will say, so I mean, it's been a minute since I've been to Jamaica, but they do have a lot more now of the digital ones. So if you do their ETA, like their form beforehand,
Yeah.
and then you go and it just expedites it, that prints out a paper, and it is much quicker now. Um, but even that, people are like, how do I use that? And you're like, holy,
This is why you work with a travel agent,
yeah,
because then the travel agent tells you all the things you need
what
to
you need to
know.
know, what you need to have, how to quickly get through.
Hmm.
Um, And then Club MoBay on the return is just like any other airport lounge. Well, it's kind of like TSA pre-check, right? So you fast track through the security line with Club MoBay,
Hmm.
and then you can go to the lounge, which has unlimited alcohol, food, um, showers if you need them. There's like a massage room there was a massage therapist there. Um, yeah,
Wow.
and they've actually redone it since the last time I was there a few years ago, and it's even better than it was. Um, the food's average, but
Yeah.
it's just nice because, again, a lot of times you're going to get there 3 hours beforehand because of the way the shuttles work. So
Do you pay
um,
for arrival and departure separately, or is
you
that
can,
cost a one time? Okay.
yeah. I want to say it's about $85. If you buy both together, it's like $85 a person. Um, but again, for me, it's not about the lounge; it's about expediting through those lines and then the security line, right? Do you still have to take your shoes off? Yep. Um, you still have to take your laptop out because
Yeah.
it isn't TSA pre-check, right? But you're in a
Yeah.
line with 20 people instead of 200. Um,
Yeah.
so
That's nice.
yeah, very nice. So get on that, buy it as soon as you book your flight to Jamaica. That's my tip
If
there.
there's anything Chris loves, it's being able to be elite.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I do too. I would absolutely pay for
I
that.
mean,
So it's
does somebody
fine.
not? If I can bypass a line,
Yeah.
and it actually has nothing to do with
It's
like
priceless.
elitism. It has a lot more to do with my level of patience and my ADHD.
But also, if you can be elite on top of
But if
that,
I
you're not going
can
to say
walk past
no.
you,
Do you remember the videos when Fast Passes still existed? Of the people like walking through the Fast Pass lane, holding up their Fast Passes,
Yep.
like being a mockery of like, you're in the standby line.
Sucker. Sucker. So I also don't think we talked about, we should talk a little bit about what does this look like though. So in most cases, it's about a $400 deposit, right? That in often cases is refundable, or you can modify things to get your room booked. You can book usually upwards of 2 years out, and they do have dynamic pricing. So the sooner the better you book.
Yeah.
Um, they have loyalty, additional loyalty percentages off if you book while you're on site, um, as well, which is important to know. And um, I don't think I mentioned, but all of the transfers are included. So even when you land in Montego Bay and have to drive an hour and a half to Ocho Rios, one of the resorts there, it's included, which is a really nice, like, you don't have to think about a thing.
But it is standard transfers that are included. There are fancier, faster transfers that you can pay extra for. I'm thinking helicopters and boats.
Correct.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah. So if you want a private transfer, if you're just like me staying in the entry level room and wanted a private, I'd have to secure that on my own. If you are in the butler category, you might have the options to pay to an upgrade to a helicopter or a boat, like their new St. Vincent, the resort in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. If you're staying butler, you can take the boat, which is like 30 minutes on a boat versus a 55-minute bus ride.
Yeah.
Um, so
It just sounds like White Lotus. Have you watched White Lotus?
I haven't, but I've heard I need to.
You would love it, first of all. But the second season starts with them. I think it's the second season. Maybe it's the. Anyways, one of the seasons starts and they all arrive by boat to their resort. And there's like people standing on the
Doc
dock
waiting.
waiting for them.
Yeah, I just don't think I was meant to live an uncomfortable life. Uh, yeah,
Oh, boy.
I've seen all the clips from
It's a
social
good
media.
show. It's a good
So
show.
anyway, my recommendation is you do have to go, right? Are there a ton of resorts in Jamaica? Yep. Are they all pretty good? No. Um, be
We can
real
make a whole
honest with
other
you.
episode about that.
There's three Ryus in between the two Sandals, you know, which again, reused similar in brand, they're not all the same. There are some
Yeah.
nice options, but most are very budget friendly, and it just depends on what you're looking for. Um, but you can't go wrong with the Sandals brand. I trust it implicitly when I'm going to a Sandals or Beaches. When we send clients there, I know people are going to be taken care of and taken care of well. So
Yeah.
I say, just go.
Wow. That was really beautiful.
Shut the fuck
I want to go the next time you go. I'd actually like an invite.
up.
I'll
Okay.
share a king bed with you if I have to. I
All right.
don't want to necessarily do that, but if that's my
Well,
only
it's
way
California
to
King,
go,
and I don't move.
yeah, it's
So
fine.
as soon as I'm
It's fine.
asleep, I don't wake back up and I don't move.
That's fine. I'll take it. Well, have you been to Sandals or Beaches? If so, let us know. I've never been. Oh, okay. That's not. I've been to Royal Bohemian for. I had a day pass, which is not the same as staying there, and it was fine. I would like to fully immerse myself in a trip to Sandals, especially now that I'm on the East Coast, and so it's easier to get a flight versus like when I was in Seattle. That is such a long travel day or days, plural. Like it's
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm excited for you. I hope that you and I can go sometime soon. I know I keep telling you that too. Sandals. Let's go to Sandals. Chris, let's go to Sandals. Chris, Sandals. But until next time, let's just go.